Introduction: Redefining wealth. We often think of wealth as a number in a bank account, a luxury car, or a big house. But real wealth is something far more powerful. It's control over your time and decisions. Most people chase money blindly, assuming that if they just work harder, wealth will appear. Yet, many of those same people are exhausted, stressed, and financially stagnant despite years of effort. Why does this happen? Because the rules of money are rarely taught. We learn to earn, but we rarely learn to manage, multiply, and protect. Financial freedom isn't about luck or opportunity. It's about awareness, strategy, and mindset. The wealthy don't stumble into freedom. They design their path intentionally. To create real financial growth, you first need to recognize the invisible traps that limit most people. These traps feel normal, harmless, even logical, but they silently drain your future. Breaking them requires more than good intentions. It requires knowledge and deliberate action. The comfort zone trap. Most people operate in a financial comfort zone. They earn a steady paycheck, spend what's necessary, and occasionally splurge. On the surface, this seems safe. But safety without strategy is a trap. The comfort zone limits your ability to take advantage of opportunities, build assets, and create exponential growth. Wealthy individuals understand that growth requires intentional discomfort. They make bold, calculated decisions, starting a side business, investing in assets, or learning new skills. They understand that short-term discomfort can produce long-term freedom. The payment illusion: small installments, big loss. One of the earliest traps is the idea that as long as you can afford a monthly payment, a purchase is manageable. New gadgets, car loans, and furniture financed over months feel harmless. Yet these purchases are more than just money. They are time sold in installments. Every payment chips away at your financial freedom, and the cumulative effect can be staggering over years. The wealthy think differently. Instead of asking, "Can I afford the monthly payment?" they ask, "Is this worth the total cost over time?" They consider interest, maintenance, depreciation, and opportunity cost. They delay gratification to ensure that when they buy, it's strategic, intentional, and sustainable. Emotional spending, the reward trap. Another common trap is spending based on emotion. After a stressful week, many justify purchases as a reward. "I earned this," they say. Initially, this feels harmless until it becomes the default coping mechanism for stress, boredom, or insecurity. The wealthy tackle stress at its source. They invest in solutions that reduce pressure, whether through exercise, planning, or personal growth. By addressing stress directly, they remove the need for retail therapy and impulsive purchases. Emotional buying, when unchecked, silently erodes wealth and reinforces scarcity thinking. The scarcity mindset. Fear of missing out isn't just a social problem. It's a financial one. Many people operate from a scarcity mindset, believing there's never enough. Not enough money, not enough time, not enough opportunity. This mindset drives poor decisions, chasing trends, spending impulsively, or overvaluing temporary pleasures. The wealthy embrace abundance thinking. They see opportunity in markets, in investments, and in relationships. Scarcity focuses on protection. Abundance focuses on creation. By training your mind to recognize potential, you open doors others never notice. Planning versus drift. Without a financial plan, money drifts away unnoticed. Daily small decisions, coffee, lunch, impulse buys, aggregate into a significant loss over time. Most people earn money only to watch it disappear because it has no assignment. A solid plan begins with awareness. Track income, categorize spending, and assign every dollar a purpose. Beyond budgeting, planning involves goal-oriented strategies, paying down debt, building investments, creating emergency reserves, and preparing for life's uncertainties. Wealth isn't about having more. It's about directing what you have intentionally. The lifestyle creep trap. Even when income rises, many people fall in a lifestyle creep. Promotions, bonuses, or windfalls often translate into bigger cars, more expensive housing, and luxurious habits. Without conscious intervention, lifestyle inflation erodes long-term wealth faster than any setback. The wealthy approach lifestyle differently. They let assets grow first and adjust lifestyle later. Their freedom expands before their consumption. This principle is simple but revolutionary. Prioritize growth, then enjoy the rewards. The power of early saving. One of the most overlooked truths about building wealth is that time is your greatest ally. People often wait until they earn more to start saving, believing that they can't make a difference with small amounts. Yet wealth doesn't compound based on income. It compounds based on time and consistency. Even modest contributions, invested wisely, can grow exponentially over decades. The wealthy understand this principle and prioritize savings before discretionary spending. They don't wait for enough income. They begin immediately, knowing that early action multiplies results. Every dollar saved today is worth far more tomorrow, not because it magically increases in value, but because compounding turns small, consistent actions into extraordinary outcomes. Debt, tool versus trap. Debt is often feared, and for good reason. High-interest consumer debt can cripple financial progress. Credit cards, personal loans, and buy-now-pay-later options often chain people to a cycle of payments and stress. But the wealthy treat debt differently. They view it as a lever to acquire appreciating assets rather than liabilities. For example, a real estate investor may use a mortgage to purchase a property that generates rental income, while the property itself appreciates over time. Strategic debt, combined with discipline and planning, allows wealth creation without relying solely on salary. The mindset shift is subtle but critical. Debt is a tool for growth, not consumption. Recognizing this distinction prevents money from being wasted on temporary gratification. Investing. Overcoming fear and taking action. Many people avoid investing because they fear loss. Ironically, the greatest loss comes from inaction. Money left uninvested loses value over time due to inflation. It's a slow, invisible erosion that often feels safer than taking action, but it's far more damaging in the long run. The wealthy embrace calculated risk. They diversify their portfolios, educate themselves, and invest consistently. Investing is not gambling. It's a deliberate strategy to let money work for you. The key is understanding the principles, sticking to a plan, and being patient. Short-term thinking versus long-term vision. One of the biggest traps is short-term thinking. People focus on the next paycheck, the next sale, or immediate gratification, instead of planning for decades ahead. This mindset drives impulsive decisions, overspending, and missed opportunities. Wealthy individuals focus on long-term, sustainable outcomes. They ask not, "What will pay me today?" but "What will pay me for years to come?" They invest in businesses, assets, and relationships that compound over time. Patience and vision are not passive. They require discipline, planning, and sometimes saying no when short-term opportunity tempts immediate spending. Influence and environment. Your social environment heavily shapes your financial behavior. People often adopt the spending habits, aspirations, and anxieties of their peers. This is the friend's influence trap. Dining at expensive restaurants, chasing luxury trends, or mimicking the lifestyle of others may feel normal, but subtly drains wealth and reinforces scarcity thinking. The wealthy curate their environment intentionally. They surround themselves with mentors, peers, and communities that elevate their thinking, challenge their assumptions, and encourage disciplined growth. Influence is a currency, and strategic exposure multiplies opportunities. The cheap now, expensive later trap. Another subtle but destructive pattern is opting for short-term savings over long-term value. Buying cheap items that break quickly or cutting corners to save money now often leads to higher costs later. From shoes to appliances to services, the cheapest option frequently ends up costing far more when replacements and repairs are factored in. The wealthy buy durable, high-value items that last longer and reduce friction in life. This principle extends beyond purchases. Investments in education, skills, and systems follow the same philosophy. Strategic upfront effort prevents long-term waste. Lifestyle choices as leverage. Wealth is not only about money, it's about leveraging choices. Every decision about time, energy, and resources has a compounding effect. The wealthy think in systems. They prioritize actions that generate returns in multiple areas of life. Learning a skill, building a network, or starting a side venture may not pay immediately, but over time, these choices compound exponentially. This is the fundamental difference between ordinary financial activity and intentional wealth building. The wealthy maximize leverage, not just output. Every hour, every dollar, and every decision is optimized for long-term impact. Reprogramming your money mindset. By now, you've seen the traps, the illusions, and the hidden patterns that silently limit financial growth. Awareness alone isn't enough. You must reprogram your mindset to break free from old habits. Many beliefs about money were formed long before you understood how wealth works. Ideas like "I'll never have enough," "rich people are greedy," or "I'm just not lucky with money." These subconscious messages influence your decisions daily. The wealthy approach money with intention. They see opportunity where others see obstacles. They understand that financial freedom comes from disciplined decisions, long-term thinking, and a clear plan. Reprogramming your mindset is about replacing scarcity with abundance, fear with strategy, and reactive behavior with deliberate action. Abundance mindset versus scarcity thinking. Scarcity thinking keeps people trapped. It creates anxiety, impulsive spending, and a constant belief that there's never enough. Scarcity makes people defensive, reactive, and risk-averse. An abundance mindset is fundamentally different. It sees possibilities, not limits. The wealthy don't hoard. They invest, innovate, and grow. Abundance isn't about having infinite resources. It's about maximizing what you have and multiplying it over time. By adopting this mindset, you start making decisions that create long-term freedom rather than short-term comfort. Intentional spending and strategic choices. One of the most practical ways to implement a wealth mindset is through intentional spending. Every dollar you earn should have a purpose before you even receive it. This doesn't mean deprivation. It means prioritization. Investments, savings, and debt repayment come first. Discretionary spending follows only when it aligns with your long-term goals. The wealthy don't buy to impress or cope with stress. They buy to increase value or generate freedom. Every financial choice becomes a building block for a future where money works for them, not the other way around. Breaking emotional spending cycles. Emotional spending is one of the hardest patterns to break because it's socially normalized. Celebrating small wins, coping with stress, or chasing status symbols can all trigger impulsive purchases. To break free, replace the emotional trigger with conscious action. Instead of splurging after a stressful day, channel energy into exercise, learning, or planning. Instead of rewarding yourself with items, reward yourself with long-term growth actions like investing in a skill or an asset. This approach doesn't remove joy. It multiplies it by ensuring satisfaction comes without sacrificing freedom or financial progress. The power of planning and discipline. Planning is the backbone of financial freedom. Every dollar, every investment, and every decision should have a clear purpose. Without a plan, money drifts away through countless small decisions. A robust plan includes budgeting with intention. Assign roles for every dollar. Savings, investments, essentials, and discretionary spending should all have a place. Emergency funds. Life is unpredictable. Car repairs, medical bills, or sudden expenses are inevitable. An emergency fund acts as a shield against unexpected financial shocks. Asset prioritization. Focus on building assets before lifestyle upgrades. Let income growth feed investments first, lifestyle second. Discipline is the multiplier. Knowledge alone is useless without action. The wealthy consistently apply their plans, even when temptation or external pressures arise. Leveraging time, money, and relationships. True wealth is not just money. It's freedom and influence. Time, money, and relationships are assets that can be leveraged for exponential growth. The wealthy prioritize these elements strategically. Time. Focus on activities that produce long-term returns, not just immediate satisfaction. Money. Invest in assets that grow, generate income, and multiply wealth. Relationships. Surround yourself with people who elevate thinking, offer guidance, and provide accountability. Influence is as powerful as capital when applied strategically. By leveraging these resources, the wealthy multiply the effect of every decision. Every choice compounds, creating a snowball effect that accelerates financial freedom. Conclusion: your path to financial freedom. The question is no longer about luck, opportunity, or timing. It's about which traps you will break today. Will you continue allowing invisible patterns to control your money, or will you take intentional steps toward freedom? Wealth is not about working harder. It's about working smarter, acting with purpose, and thinking strategically. It's about reprogramming your mindset, mastering time, and letting money work for you. The wealthy aren't lucky. They are aware, disciplined, and intentional. They see opportunity where others see obstacles. They prioritize freedom over status, strategy over emotion, and long-term growth over short-term pleasure. Your financial future is the sum of your daily choices. Break free from emotional spending, escape the comfort zone, and start making every dollar, every decision, and every moment count. The path to financial freedom is not a mystery. It's a blueprint, and today is the day to start building it.